I am super excited that I finally got my Legacy Elgato HD 60 to plug into my computer. Coming at you now with my Nintendo Switch plugged in, able to record a whopping 720p video at 60 frames a second. And I did that specifically because I want to talk about F-Zero 99. This is a game that came out last year and I was super excited for it. I didn't talk about it because it's really difficult for me with my current setup upstairs to record nice high quality video for you guys. So I brought everything down. I spent the night kind of playing around with the settings, got it to run through OBS, and now you are able to witness what I saw. Obviously, I put a pink border around it because one, it's my trademark. Two, as I said, it runs at 720p. It doesn't actually fill out the screen entirely. So we're going to kind of mask the nothingness in the corners with a fancy pink border. Additionally, before I get into today's video, if you like what you see, subscribe for more content. Now, F-Zero 99 is the follow-up to me, one of the best Super Nintendo games pretty much ever made. F-Zero. Now, F-Zero came out way back when, on August 23rd, 1991. I wasn't even 10 years old yet, and I loved this game so much. I remember my mom taking me to Toys R Us. Do you remember the old school Toys R Us where you would get the slip of paper? They had the box of the game there. You'd get a little slip of paper. You'd go up to the front. You'd pay with the slip of paper. They'd staple your receipt to that, and then you'd go to another part of the store where they would go in the vault and redeem the game for you. I did this quite a bit. I was always saving up my allowance and money that I got for my birthday or for good report cards, and I bought every Super Nintendo game I could possibly get my hands on. Like a big idiot, I sold them all as I got older to make way for more consoles, but F-Zero will always hold a place near and dear to my heart as to me, one of the best racers ever made. What made F-Zero so good was it was this weird kind of futuristic world. You drove around in these flying like hover cars. It was very fast paced. I'm not saying it was the first 60 frame per second game ever made. I don't know which one was, but it was one of the few that existed. I don't think people really understood what 60 frames per second meant back then. It was masked under the guise of the Mode 7 graphics that were so popular with Super Nintendo games, and it was developed exclusively for that system, and F-Zero took great advantage of it. Some of the other Mode 7 games you've probably played before were Pilot Wings. That one definitely sticks out to me. Super Ghouls and Ghosts used it. Super Mario Kart used it. Super Tennis used it. It gave this kind of effect of depth when there wasn't really depth. It was kind of this scanline by scanline type system, but basically you're always in the center of the world and the world's revolving around you. You'll notice in F-Zero your car is pretty much in the center constantly. The world is morphing around you, and because of this technology you were able to get really high performance, really nice depth of field, and phenomenal frame rate. So that was kind of the legacy of what the original F-Zero was, and I love that game so much because it was just so beautifully done. Now, it's been remastered, it's been remade, it came out later on under the guise of other things, but to me, the original F-Zero will always go down, I think, as kind of the definitive package of F-Zero. So last year, when Nintendo kind of continued what they call their 99 system of games, when they announced F-Zero 99, I lost my mind. Other 99 games like Tetris 99 and Pac-Man 99, which unfortunately has been kind of turned off. You can't even play Pac-Man 99 competitively anymore. Pits you in this kind of battle royale type system where they'll take games that don't really kind of belong in a battle royale system and they'll put them in there anyway. So I've done discussions before on Tetris 99 and Pac-Man 99, and even Mario, when they had the Mario, I think it was Mario 35 or 25, but same kind of system, right? So when F-Zero 99 was announced, I was like, oh my god, first of all, what a tribute to me, one of the best racing games ever made. They keep the old retro style graphics, obviously with a fresh coat of paint. Now it runs at a higher resolution. It still utilizes some variant of the Mode 7, but you have much greater draw distance now. It's super snappy control, and obviously the online component with your original F-Zero did not have. And they added some other stuff to it. We'll talk about that in a moment. But the idea was that you're going to be racing against other people in challenges where, you know, the last 10 cars or whatever drop off the list, or you have to get so many points over particular races. And because of it being online, the playlists are constantly evolving and changing. They're constantly running these small little tournaments that have, you know, you can only play for the next 30 minutes, and then we're rotating in a new game mode. So it always keeps gameplay fresh and fun. And I really appreciate that, because what I really liked so much about this is that, you know, anytime you log in, expect something you may not have expected before, whether it be team battle or knockout mode or a Grand Prix mode or a legacy mode, where they take away some of the new features that they have added from the original F-Zero to F-Zero 99, and you're left with a game like this. And it's an absolute gem just to have all of this depth, and it just works so well, and I've been having such a blast with it. I know I talk a lot with my backlog of games and how I'm still chipping through other things, but I find this game, particularly for me, again, that nostalgia of just even going back to buying it. I love everything about this universe, and I love everything about this game, and it's my comfort food, and I find I'm constantly going back and playing it and continuing to level up and just having a blast enjoying it. So what makes F-Zero 99 so different than Legacy F-Zero? Well, for starters, there's more players, obviously. I think that goes without saying. The name's in the title. 99 other cars, well, 98 other cars, you being the 99th one, right? And what you do is you're basically racing through levels just like before, but unlike the other F-Zero, where every lap would give you one boost, here it's up to you to manage your boost. Obviously, your boost comes from your power meter, so it's kind of up to you to determine when it makes the most sense to use a boost. And it also is, you know, if you're bouncing around the walls and, you know, you're constantly like lower health, maybe boosting isn't for you, and that's okay. Maybe you're just going to take it a little slower. That's where a lot of the strategy comes in. Are you trying to get out way ahead of the pack and stay there? Are you willing to kind of bounce around with the cars that are lower HP and try to knock them off? Or are you going to stay towards the back of the pack and kind of retain your shields and hope that the rest of the pack kind of fight themselves off? There's a lot of different ways to play. I have yet to win a race. I've gotten top 3 a couple times. It is thrilling and intense, and how fast this game is and how quickly one wrong turn or somebody boosting into you or spinning into you will absolutely change your performance in this game is a blast, and you just kind of have to roll with the punches. But because the games drop quickly, you're running into a new race, you're always starting the next thing. You know, victory and defeat is just, you know, seconds away from starting over for a new match, okay? So other things that have changed from the original F-Zero, now you have this spin meter. You'll see me spin, and then it slowly recharges. Spin meter allows you to kind of slam into other people without any penalty to you. It's phenomenal to use if you're a klutz and you're bouncing off the wall. It's also used as an offensive tool to try to take out weaker players without you losing your own shield, which is really, really nice. You'll notice a lot of cars are blinking around me. Those cars are low on health. And if I was a little better of a racer, I could probably target them a little more, spin into them, and destroy them. And I would KO them. They'd be out of the race forever. You'll see it across the top. They'll say so-and-so crashed out. They're done. They can't play anymore. And that makes it a little bit easier to progress in some of the levels because obviously there's less cars to go around. I have had races where I was guaranteed basically success because so many cars had dropped out. So it is advantageous to, if possible, knock out some of the other cars around you. You'll also notice that there's kind of dud cars. These carry over from the original F-Zero as well. They're just mostly fodder to get in your way, although you can destroy them to KO them as well. You'll notice that every so often you'll see a big, giant yellow car. the big giant yellow car, you know, when you hit it, it spews out those power pellets. I haven't talked about the pellets quite yet. What the pellets do is will fill up a separate meter. That is your kind of like special meter. When you boost when that meter is full, you'll gain access to that really nifty sky bridge that you see, that blue bridge above us, and you can't fall off during that. It's a great way to kind of catch your breath. There's lots of boosts there that will propel you quickly, and oftentimes, depending on when you use it, you may find you gain an advantage because it will take the least route possible, sometimes off the course. So if there's like a lot of figure S's, for example, the skyline might be just go right through them, just straight across, which will allow you to pass a lot of the competition very quickly, which is great. And I love that there are, like I said, there's so many different ways to play this game. It's up to you if you want to kind of hoard that or use it immediately. It's kind of what makes the most sense to you. Now, when you play, you're going to get tickets. There's a 99 mode, which you can just sign in at any single time and play, and it'll give you the opportunity to race against other players. Win, lose, or draw, you will gain experience. They'll put you up against other rivals. Sometimes I think they're computer players, but it's basically just helping you to understand, like, that you need to take out other players, or based on your performance, you might get additional points. As you play more, you will unlock different car colors, different graphics, different pilot cards that don't necessarily impact performance. All the engines or the vehicles are the vehicles, which I like. It doesn't have that pay-to-win mechanic, so it's not like you can get some crazy boost on a car and be more competitive than somebody who's just playing. It's all vanity items, but they're fun. It's that swag to show off, right? You know, like I have a blue Falcon, but it's yellow with green highlights. Like, how cool is that, right? Anyways, you earn these tickets as well, and the tickets are used to compete in the more difficult races, which over the weekend do seem to pick up with more frequency. This mode that I am playing for you guys right now is a Grand Prix mode, which actually was only available for 30 minutes. You could sign up and play it at any time. You could just keep playing it over and over, but it costs 3 tickets to enter. So a little bit different rule set here. It was a much tighter field. The competition was significantly more aggressive. I'm actually going to fail here and not make it to the end. But I had a blast playing it, and it was so cool to kind of earn your tickets, and then you kind of go after these bigger fish, you know, these bigger, more difficult challenges. And then when you run out of tickets, you go back to the 99 mode and basically start over again and again and again. I can't say enough good things about this game. If you were a fan of the original, you owe it to yourself to check it out. If you are a fan of any kind of racing game, I think you owe this. Just as a sense of legacy, I think a lot of people overlook this game because they weren't born, and that's fine. Obviously, the world has changed, but you know what? For me, and a lot of people growing up like me, F-Zero will always hold a very special place in our heart. So I wanted to give it its due credit, kind of talk through the lineage of F-Zero, kind of talk through the lineage of kind of this, how this game evolved, and just show off some of the amazing experience that I had with it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Get out there and play some F-Zero 99. And until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.